Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Simon Mott, Chief Marketing Officer at TrackInsight, to discuss the impact of Bitcoin on ETFs. We'll also take a look at some trends in thematic investing. It's great to meet with you, Simon. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill. Good to be back.
All right, you got it. In the U.S., finally got the Bitcoin ETF that we've been waiting for. What's been the impact on the ETF markets, and what do you think is next?
Yeah, massive news for the industry, and congratulations for ProShares for being first to market there. We know there's a huge first to market advantage when it comes to ETFs, but there is a lot more coming down the pipe. We'll get to that in a second. What we've seen in the general industry is that those ETFs that have had some kind of equity exposure to the Bitcoin ecosystem or the cryptocurrency ecosystem have also benefited from this news. Products like the VanEck Digital Transformation ETF have been up 7.8% week to date. That's Monday to Wednesday. The Bitwise Crypto Innovators ETF slightly lower than that, 7.1%. And the actively managed Veridi Cleaner Energy Crypto Mining ETF up 6.1%. So this good news has really lifted all the boats riding on the kind of cryptocurrency sea. We've also seen a lot of people kind of chasing this success with over 30 crypto ETFs and ETPs in with the SEC for approval, covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a lot of other different kind of angles on the theme. So investors in the North American market are going to go from zero choice to a lot of choice very, very quickly.
Amid the Bitcoin hype, investors have ignored fears that the COVID Delta is back for the winter. How has this affected thematic ETFs?
Yeah, there's a concern that the Delta variant is back. This is causing a change in government policy on both sides of the Atlantic. There's concerns that lockdowns may be coming back and other restrictions are in place. One of the sectors which has been really affected by that has been the kind of travel industry, in particularly kind of ETFs that are focused on kind of airlines and cruise ships. Obviously, people are not necessarily going to be able to go on holiday and get some sun over the winter season. So this has hit ETFs like the Jets, US Global Jets ETFs, which has fallen 2.8% so far this week. The Sonic Shares, Airlines and Cruise Line ETFs down 3.1%, and the Defiance Hotels, Airline and Cruise ETFs also down 3.1%. So anybody who's looking for a holiday over the coming months might want to be reconsidering their travel plans.
And what other trends?
The other thing we've seen, Jill, in terms of COVID, which has been very different to the travel industry, is something that's going on south of the border down in Brazil. Now, the Brazilian President Bolsonaro has just been on the receiving end of a damning parliamentary report, which has accused him of crimes against humanity, forging documents, and various other kind of nefarious activities. And this has sent the Brazilian equity ETFs tumbling. iShares MSCI down 6.3% this week, the Franklin FTSE Brazil down 5.2%, and the First Trust AlphaDex Brazil fund down 5.1%. So the impact of kind of COVID is being felt in different ways across different sectors, but clearly kind of some very unusual things going on down in Brazil at the moment.
Right. And Simon, to wrap up here, what other trends are emerging in the thematic ETF space that investors might be missing?
Yeah, well, we've actually just launched here at TrackInsight our Thematic ETF Observatory. We know that thematic ETFs are a huge thing for investors these days. And what we're kind of coming out with is some very kind of interesting data from that. I'll look at this in two ways, year to date and then also week to date. We can look at sectors like nuclear energy, which is having a resurgence given some of the kind of ESG and environmental concerns around energy. Nuclear is up 89% on the year and 5.6% on the week. And we're also seeing other portions of the energy market, like energy infrastructure, up 46% on the year and marginally up by 1.5% on the week. We talked about cryptocurrencies. Blockchain as an aspect to that has also been doing well. 3.1% up on the week and nearly 40% up on the year. But what we've done here at TrackInsight is categorize the nearly 691 ETFs or thematic ETFs in the world according to 5 megatrends and 68 themes. The idea that we can help investors really kind of navigate this market with a far more transparency and regularity than they have before. Now, all of that information is there on TrackInsight.com, but as you know, Jill, investors in North America can access the TrackInsight data exclusively through you guys there at Nasdaq. So if anybody is interested, they know where to look.
All right, Simon, they certainly do. Thanks so much for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.